Today for Wedding Wednesday, we are going to talk about the Jess Andy story.
Yeah.
How we started, a little bit about our journey in the wedding industry, and what got us to where we are today, and what we have going on, which is super exciting with Jess and Andy Weddings.
A little bit about where we are going. But first, we need you all to settle a discussion that we have with friends of ours, some from time to time. Some could call it an argument. And it's the age-old, most amazing topic of all. What is better tasting? Cake or brownies?
I say brownie. What do you say?
I agree. I actually do agree because we were just chowing down on some brownie moments ago.
It's true. It was really good. In fact, I still have some.
Well, wait.
No brownie teeth.
But back to the purpose of the video.
So we wanted to talk about just kind of a brief outline of our story. We started as photographers quite a few years back. I started first, then Andy joined me. We did our first event together in 2011. And we quickly fell in love with weddings.
We sure did.
Yeah, and decided, hey, let's specialize as wedding photographers. So that's what we did. And we spent a few years honing our skill set and developing lighting skills and understanding composition and
gathering
how to,
gear.
Use the manual functions on our cameras.
What? You use that?
Actually, we were already manual before
You actually
that.
use that?
I should clarify for all those 2008 to 2011 people, we did learn manual then too.
Oh yeah, yes. Learning to master it.
Yeah,
is the
exactly.
ticket.
Specifically for wedding days. And so we did that for a number of years, and then we got to this point of, okay, we've got skill set, now we need to learn how to master business.
Honestly, and it's almost like it comes out of nowhere and slaps you in the face because you think, oh man, I know this camera so well, I know it inside and out, I'm so comfortable in every lighting scenario and this and that and off-camera lighting and and then you realize, oh, actually that, for me, I look at it and go, that was the easiest part.
It's true. So we set out to master business, and we did the journey that everyone advertises about, like, hey, I will teach you how to build a 6-figure business. We did that. We did that as wedding photographers, and it was a lot of fun, and we were able to use a skill set that we'd had from our lives previous to photography, which was I was a marketing consultant and business strategist, and Andy had his own corporation. And so obviously, you had learned all the ins and outs of running a business through that. And so we were able to take those skills and build them even more to our own business that we were doing together as a couple. And so not only were we learning how to make our own business successful and financially profitable, but we were also learning how to build a business with somebody else, which was different than what we had done before.
Also very important in this scenario.
It's
so
true.
If that is your scenario and you are working with someone else, keep listening.
Yeah, exactly. And so we did that. And then we started to have a little bit more time to keep our eyes and ears open, and we started to pay more attention to the wedding industry itself. Yes. And we noticed a common theme: floods of people entering the industry and floods of people leaving it.
Yes.
And so we set out to figure out, okay, well, why is that? So we came across a few different things. One of them is that you really have to love weddings because they are kind of unique creatures of their own.
They definitely are.
Yeah.
If you love sticking your head in a pressure cooker, you need to be in the wedding. Sorry, I've got what is this thing called?
It's a bobby pin.
I got a bobby pin that I'm playing with. I got to stop because I'm sure it's annoyingly distracting. I'd put it in my hair, but well, that's a topic for another day. If you love putting your head in a pressure cooker, you're going to love the wedding business because it is a pressure cooker. The wedding day is a pressure cooker. And we love it.
Yes.
We love that.
We do. And that's why we will never stop being wedding photographers.
No.
I don't think. Because, well, maybe if my body falls apart, because it's a little exhausting. Maybe one day, 40 years or something.
Yeah.
Anyways, we love photography. We really love weddings. And so to really make it successfully in the wedding industry, you definitely need to love weddings. What is something else?
Well, you need to be able to have a love for business. Sorry, thinking of, how do I say that right? You need to have a love for business. I think a fervor for, or a tenacity, a hustle to never stop learning, never stop pushing, and never get complacent. I think as soon as, I mean, I've had more than one business, and I can say from experience, the day you become complacent is the day the sun is starting to set on that business because it's time to move on.
Yeah.
And so if that is how you are in the wedding business, doesn't mean you failed. You might be the most successful wedding professional in the history of mankind, but for whatever reason,
most talented, are you trying to say?
Yeah.
Most talented.
Sure, yeah. And that's, I think, a nicer way to put it. Nicely done. But if you lose that passion and that desire to hustle and to push and to always be leveling up, then it's time to start asking yourself, is it time to maybe look at different options, or it's just maybe a time to make some tweaks in the way you're operating to reestablish the love, which really is the first key cog in the wheel. The love of what you're doing is number one, and the passion to develop the business naturally falls right after that.
That's
in my
true.
opinion.
So I feel like, if you really get to the heart of that, though, the passion to develop the business requires that work ethic or that hustle, like the word that you used. And I think that that's really kind of at the core of what you're saying, is that it takes hard work. And so you need to keep working at it and not lose heart. Don't give up. It definitely is a requirement. I think on the business end of things, just because you have a lot of heart and desire to push and to do really well doesn't mean you will succeed at business. Because something that I've learned too is that most people aren't born with a ton of business savvy. And every industry can be different. So just because you had a successful business selling insurance doesn't mean you're going to have a successful business planning somebody's wedding, because it's a different industry.
Totally. There are some stencils that overlap.
Oh, definitely. And there's strategies and foundational pieces to building business that are very much the same. They just look a little different. But still, you have to learn how to run a business well. And you have to learn how to give great customer service and how to be efficient with the way that you do business. And there's always a learning curve in any new venture. And so there's a lot of education that's required, and hard work and time. There's no real fast track for most people. Some people get lucky, but for the most part, you have to work for a while.
That's the exception to the rule.
Exactly.
Or sometimes in a sports term, you call it lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, it's true.
It's not the norm.
Yeah. And then, another thing too is that I really feel that you need support to build a business well. That support can come from clients. It can come from your business partner or your spouse, in our case. It can come from your family and friends who believe in you and are supportive of what you are trying to do. But more importantly than that, when it comes to the nitty-gritties of building a business, you need support in a business capacity. And so, we've learned a lot over the years in the industry about networking, about building relationship with other wedding professionals who understand the game that you're playing, and the type of business you're building, and can give you relevant mentoring and encouragement and just understanding, listening ear, because they get what you're going through. It's really important to have at least somebody like that in your life, but the more the merrier. And so part of our story has been in trying to build that kind of community and support network. We've tried a lot of different things, and not everything has worked. And one of the things that we've really seen specifically in the wedding industry is that there's a lot of wedding businesses that are not feeling supported. They don't feel connected.
It's true.
And that was us for many years.
Currently, I would say in some parts of the world, it's an epidemic in the wedding business. The wedding business is in the midst of a shakeup. I think that collaboration together as businesses and giving each other the support as individuals, as people, is a key to success in business. And what I feel like the shakeup really, truly, the heart of what is going on is with the tech revolution that is happening in society today. We are seeing, in a sense, the handing of the baton from old guard Gen Xers to younger Gen Xers / millennials. And I think that the next generation coming up has grown up with social media, is more collaborative. Honestly, in my opinion, more mature in social media. I can say this as somebody that's the tail end of Gen X. More mature on social media than Generation X. And I believe that is what's going on right now. And we're in the middle of it. And when you're in the middle of any transition, it's uncomfortable, and changes are happening fast.
Yeah, it's true. Well, yeah, and I mean, getting into that, we could talk forever about the whole social media game and how that's changed things for the wedding industry.
Is that a topic right now? Oh.
But one of the common things, just to put a little plug out there, because we will talk more about this in future episodes.
Yes, we will.
Is that you hear a lot of people in the wedding industry complaining because I live here, but couples that are coming here to get married or live here and are getting married are hiring a business from over there. And it's easy to want to put the target on that business over there. But the reality is that social media changed the game, and local isn't necessarily local anymore. Someone who, let's say where we live in the Okanagan, that lives in the Okanagan, definitely there's things that they know that somebody who's never visited here is not going to know, and they're going to have to spend a significant amount of time to learn all the things that someone local to the area living here does. And so that benefit, is lost if you hire somebody from far outside of a region that doesn't have strong ties to it. However, the relationship that a client builds with somebody is no longer restricted to proximity to be able to meet for a coffee, because you can now build a great relationship because of all these video formats and social media. You can get an inside window into somebody's character and into their life, and you can connect with them on a really deep level even if you don't live close to them. And so not only on a front end of running your business is social media a really important thing, and building community and relationships with people, but also on the back end, building relationships, not just seeking support, but giving support to other people in the industry and in business.
To add to that,
so
a wonderful
important.
quote. Sorry, did I completely cut you off?
No.
Not that I ever do that.
And I don't either.
A great quote that I heard this week is something along the lines of success breeds success. Hard work works. And when you succeed, reach back and help somebody up with you. Each one, teach one. And that really impacts me to hear that. And that's part of the initiative that we are pushing forward with, is that we feel that through somewhat a school of hard knocks and somewhat just a matter of experience, and for us a level of success in business, that we have a responsibility to reach back and help people out. Yeah. And I don't want to help one, I want to help many. Because if this is your passion and you love the wedding business as much as we do, then we want to help you have the lifestyle that can go along with that.
And also there's so many other people besides just us that are doing that actively as well. And so, being part of those thriving communities that they're not about preaching, they're about teaching, that are not about judging, they're about sharing, that are not about posturing, they're about transparency. Those kind of groups and those communities are really important to plug yourself into. And that's why we're really, really excited, not just about the communities that we've built and the network that we have, but about the plans that we have with JessAndy Weddings to reach out in new capacities. So we wanted just to talk briefly about that. What are some of the things, Andy, that we offer right now or are going to be offering in the next month or two?
Something very awesome. One of my favorite words. Free. Free advice. We are offering, and we are going to continue to offer, free advice for anyone looking to get into the business or anyone who is in the business.
Yeah, exactly. not just for wedding professionals, we also provide advice, and we have some really exciting speaking presentations that we are lining up right now.
Yes, we do.
And as those come, we're going to be talking and presenting on a whole bunch of different topics relating to business, to being an entrepreneur, to social media. What are some of the other topics we are planning
a little bit
presentations
the mental
for?
makeup of business and entrepreneurial approaches.
How to build a successful brand.
Yeah.
Some resources that can help any business gain a better understanding of who they are and what they're doing and where they would really like to go, and then how are they going to get there.
I think some work-life balance will be in there. It's always something, I've never enjoyed the term work-life balance, but it's the term of the day. So we'll go with that. But not to get too far down that trail. But we're going to have some fun announcements coming not too far from
That's
now.
true. Another thing that we're working on is resources. We've already created some, and we're actively creating others. And one of our goals has been to create affordable resources. Affordable. Like really, really affordable for people, so that if you're looking for a really great product or worksheet or activity to add to your toolkit, we can give that to you. And it's based off of, hard-earned knowledge and experience because of everything that we've done building our business. And so we're working on those. We also have really awesome groups that we are offering now. You can find those groups on LinkedIn.
Yes.
And on Facebook. And the reason that we created those groups is to support wedding professionals in the pursuit of becoming the top 1% in the industry.
Yes.
And so not necessarily like top 1% world, top 1% in your industry, in your area of the world where you're servicing the wedding industry.
Yeah. And what we want, it doesn't have to mean that you are somebody who's been doing it for years and years, or that you can be somebody who has lots of experience. You can be somebody who has very little experience. What we are seeking is, in a sense, those who are committed to excellence. That is what we seek.
Yeah.
And what we want is a safe community where you can feel safe to come on board and just collaborate. Have some open discussion in a positive environment where other professionals, in a sense, can brainstorm with you. Thank you. And
but you don't like the
no, it feels,
pillow I'm making for your head with my hand.
On a Star Trek chair or something, where other wedding or business professionals can collaborate with you in leveling up your business, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Like we said earlier, you always got to be pushing to level up.
Oh man, and we're still actively on that journey ourselves. And so a lot of the things that we are going to be presenting about and teaching on and that we like to share about are works in progress for us too. A great example would be social media. You can never say, hey, I've got this thing nailed. Because as soon as you think you have, they change their algorithm.
They change everything.
So it's like, you got to constantly be like spinning those wheels and trying this and trying that and strategizing and re-strategizing, and sometimes you just throw it all out and you have to start something new. And so we're really excited to be more transparent and just to make ourselves available to others who are looking for a little help along the way, as well as to learn ourselves, because we have lots that we are still working on and learning. And that's another reason we want community, is because we also want to be improving ourselves and being challenged at what we're already doing and maybe ways that we could change things, as we go.
Yeah.
And so, I always like to say, like, it isn't really a numbers game. Like I throw, the number 1%, top 1%, because it's kind of like an enticing goal for us. Let's strive to be in that top 1%. It's a great motivator, but it isn't a comparison game, and one could say that knowing if you're in that top 1% is a pretty subjective thing. This person might think they are, and that person might say, no, you're not. And that's not really what it's about. It's about that pursuit of excellence and just always leveling up higher and higher with what you do. And so that's what we are providing. So we would like for you to become a friend with us because we want to get to know you. It's not about building our follower list. It's about building our network of real people. And so you can find us on LinkedIn. We are on as Andy Schlamp and Jessica Schlamp if you want to connect with us personally. We love that. We are both also personally on Facebook as well as on Instagram. So please find us by our names. Shoot us a friend request because we almost always accept them.
Yes,
we'll accept
almost always. A few caveats in there. We're not going there, though.
No. And then we would love for you to join our groups. Again, we are going to be linking all the resources and all the content that we create. We're going to be telling you about that in these groups. It's a great way to stay informed, as well as to join in the conversation and add your voice to the things that we talk about. And there may be, who knows, just a way that you could jump on board with what we're doing and also gain some exposure for your business in the process. So we're always open to that opportunity too.
Well, and in those groups, there may even be some content that you can only get in those groups.
There will be. Like some of our resources are free for people in the groups.
Or maybe you'll get a little sneak peek on something coming up for everybody else. But I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Join the group.
It's true. So you can find us on Facebook and on LinkedIn. You can search the top 1% wedding professionals group, and you will find us on either of those platforms. LinkedIn is a great choice if you are really interested in the business aspect of what you do, because that's really what it's there for is business, you know, and so it's a really great option. We're really loving the networks that we're building on LinkedIn.
Kind of been knocking our socks off the last couple of weeks, actually.
It has been. Yeah, it's a more targeted community. And so if you're in the wedding industry and you maybe have a LinkedIn profile that you're not actively using, or you don't have one, it might just be time
jump on board.
For you to jump on board. You bet.
It is like cheap waterfront real estate right now.
Yeah,
get in.
It's true, and people are just very like-minded there, and there's not a lot of people sharing views and jumping on each other and attacking, and I'm sure it can exist anywhere.
I have yet to see the vultures swirl.
I've seen it on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn.
But it's not very common. Except with politics.
Well,
that's everywhere.
It's a pretty polarizing thing.
Yeah. Anyways, so definitely find us on LinkedIn and join that group. It's free. There's no requirements. And then if you are on Facebook, you can find our group there as well. We would love to get to know you, to learn more about your business, to hear your story. So share it with us there. And then lastly, please join our email list. We're not spammy. In fact, if anything, we're send way less newsletter or email things than we should. But because of all the speaking things that we have coming up in the next 2-3 months here and the resources that we are going to be launching, that's definitely the best way to keep in the loop.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the efforts on that will be increasing.
You betcha. So you can do that through our blog.
You betcha.
JessAndyblog.com. JessAndyblog.com. That's our blog. Yes. You'll see the email subscribe option in multiple places on that blog. And you can also read great wedding industry advice, great wedding planning advice.
There's lots of good stuff.
Yeah, and learn about other companies in the wedding industry as well.
So whether you're another company or you're somebody planning a wedding, a bride and a groom, there is something there for you.
And we have a podcast. You can find it on the blog. You can also subscribe to it on iTunes. This Good Wedding Life iTunes. With Jess and Andy.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's all I got.
Drum roll.
Happy Wedding Wednesday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.